Rap news, street politics, the best hood channel on YouTube, and we back again in Compton, about to touch on a real serious situation that's been popping over there for a long time. Now, you know, Compton is always in the headlines for something. They always got some rappers coming out the city. The sets out there are always putting in work, always some activity on the streets of Compton. But lately, we all seen what's really been popping out there, and pretty much throughout the whole city. We seen the piece with the Pirus out in Compton. Now, the Pirus, like most other sets, really didn't start like this, divided and at each other's necks on Rosecrans, you know what I'm saying? But the developments on the west side with SpookTown and Treetop, and then the east side with Mob and Lueders, Cross Atlantic, it's been some friction in the last couple decades with these hoods. So seeing this peace walk really was for the west side of Compton. We're gonna touch on that, but it still was a major impact for what's going on with the Pirus sets out in the city. Now, after that situation, we see some dudes from Compton Varrio, Tortilla Flats, also pop on the Rosecrans, and they whacked out the Kendrick Lamar mural. Now, there's a lot of things behind that. You know what I'm saying? It's real gang-banging politics. You know, I see a lot of people talking about the race wars in Compton. We're going to break down what's really going on between the Compton Varrios, the Compton Pirus, and the Compton Crips on the west side and the east side of Compton. But the key thing that y'all got to remember is the size of Compton. Compton is really like 10 square miles. And if you add Willowbrook, we got less than 15 square miles with over 50 hoods in Compton. Compared to LA, which has 500 square miles, Compton, these hoods have always known to exist on top of each other, especially the Compton Varrios, which share hoods with a lot of Compton Crips and Pirus. So with the area being this small and so many active hoods out here, this is why Compton stay going up. And the politics in Compton are extremely different from the politics in LA as well. But before we get cracking, for anybody that doesn't understand Compton politics, doesn't really know the hoods out here, and feels like they gonna be lost in this video, y'all go check out our most deadly gangs in Compton, west side and east side. 2 different videos we did on the most deadly hoods out here. Go check them videos out on our channel, man, if y'all wanna dive deeper into some of these hoods that we talking about. And man, we appreciate everybody that got us to 80K on the channel. We still on the road to 100K, man. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, man. We appreciate everybody that subbed to us, all the members. Again, tap in with us on Instagram as well. But to jump right into it, we got to start on the west side in this section right here. This area occupied by the Treetops, the Fruit Towns, Compton Varrio T-Flats, Compton Largo 36, and Compton Varrio Lokos. So like we said, that peace walk with the Pirus was really for the west side hoods. Now, as we see, multiple people said it's all Pirus, and we seen Pirus from Inglewood. We saw Act Right from NHP, Inglewood over there. We saw some dudes from Cabbage Patch and Carson. So they was trying to include all Pirus, but like we said, there's some issues on the east side that still got to be touched up. But this really was for Fruit Town and Treetop. We saw them 2 hoods there. We saw Game there from Cedar Blocc, who represents a piece of the LAC, Lueders Park, Cross Atlantic, and Cedar Blocc. We saw Westside Piru there, and we saw Campanella Park in attendance, as well as some dudes from 151 and probably from 145 neighborhood Piru in Compton as well. But that was a situation that really unified pretty much all these Piru hoods on the west side. So we can say we have a decent alliance. And you know, what we're gonna do in this video is also gonna speak on different ways, hypothetical ways, that Hispanic and Black hoods in Compton can come together. So we already have the west side of Compton with the Pirus pretty much on one accord. But in this area right here, Compton Varrio Tortilla Flats is gonna be a hood that's beefing with all these hoods surrounding them, especially Treetop, Fruit Town, and Compton Largo 36.
You know what's going on, kick the front door, Susan late, left at home alone, chasing straight cheese all day, strictly provolone, talking hella tough, till I hit him with this 40 crown stupid. All my niggas ruthless, all my niggas bounce out and show shit. Now I ain't hit a jaw, leave him toothless, anybody killer, I don't do the pick and chosen. Bitch, in the city we get active, if I catch a slob slipping, best believe I'm finna blast him.
Now, the main thing with Treetop and TF that people speak on is the race war. And it's not just Compton Varrio TF that they speak on, but with what's popping right now, all eyes is on them. And you know, a key thing that really stick out is we seen some dudes from Compton Varrio T Flats do an interview with the real MVP TV.
Which section is this?
This TF Flats, Compton.
TF Compton, nigga. This motherfucker get hectic right here, man.
Doing it though, it's hectic, but you know, niggas be living. Niggas be going day by day with it, you feel me?
Yeah, one of our youngies just got smacked in the foot. He was gonna pull up right now too. Yeah, he still block tripping like that. He still pull up to the block like that. Ain't no excuse.
He got shot in the hood?
Yeah, in Compton, but somewhere else.
And shout out the real MVP TV. We rock with him, we rock with his channel, and he be putting out some dope content. But the thing is, the real MVP TV is black. And the Tortilla Flats brought him through their hood and kind of broke down some things that we see. Number one, for them letting a black interviewer in their hood, that's just gonna say one thing right there, you know? But what they said in the interview was kind of alluding to some of their older homies really on that race war with some of the older black dudes in that generation. But the young dudes at T Flats said they really don't want that target on their back of being racist, because all that does is bring more beef. So now they just got a beef with Treetop or Fruittown. You got a beef with the 30 or 40 other black hoods in this city. And really, wherever you go, you always gonna have a problem.
So like, I know you say you go out there with all the black hoods. Me being from NorCal, I always think of LA as more racial, but I never, when I've been down here, they be like, some be like, it's not really like that no more. Would you say that it's still somewhat racial out here, or?
Yeah, in the west side for sure. Like if we like not really how we used to, like back then, our homie, like our old generation, they used to be pressing that, you know, black K, whatever, you know, like they used to be racist, you know, like that made it harder for us, you know. We gotta be for everybody now, you know, cause we pretty much pressing that blank, you know, cause with all the business, you know.
But that's something that these dudes pointed out. Now with the mural, what's being said in the streets is T Flats is really beefing hard with Pirus sets and other Compton Varrios. And we also saw on that mural, Santana Blocc, Compton Crip hit up on it as well. We saw the SBC on there without T Flats being whacked out. Now, the reason that's important is because, like I said, people saying T Flats is really beefing with the Pirus. And this is something that you're gonna see in Compton. Some of these Compton Varrios will be beefing with either Crips and be cool with Pirus, or beefing with Pirus and be cool with Crips. Some of them beef with everybody. But for people saying T Flats is beefing with everybody, we done seen them not whack out Santana Blocc or Santana Blocc not whack them out on various occasions. These hoods was right next to each other. But we're gonna get to Santana Blocc as well. But that's just another interesting thing to point out with T Flats. But moving forward, man, across Rosecrans, like I said, we already got them beefing with TTP. They also beefing with Fruittown. But there's a set over here that occupies some of Fruittown and some of Pocket Hood section. Is gonna be Compton Varrio Lokos.
Man, it's a trip though. Say me a prayer and I ride low. Cadillac dreams in a coupe and I touch the inside and it's all really looking so new though. Amen. They say Lokos don't cry, but I'm broken inside. Hear the oppressed and just listen real close to the marginalized. Take a look in my eyes. Lokos don't cry, real Lokos don't cry. These ain't tears in my eyes, pain in my heart. You can tell mama tried, yeah, it's cold on my side. Lokos don't cry.
And CV Lokos is gonna be the same hood as Westside Lokos, the hood Spanky Loco was from. They got a couple different Loco sets, again on the west side in West LA, this one at Compton in the Valley. And CV Loco also gonna be known to be cool with CV3 and CV70. Now this is just another point that we have to show about the racial situation over here. Compton Varrio Loco has been known to be cool with Fruittown. And like I said, they're cool with Fruittown. They've been known to beef with Crips. They was beefing with Pocket Hood. So my thing is, if it's such a racial divide out here in this city, everything would be going up. Everybody would be in such a crazy predicament because like I said, this area is so small, these hoods are sitting on top of each other. And with the Lokos getting along with hoods like CV3 and CV70 on the east side, and hoods like CV3 being cool with a black gang, this just further shows that black and brown is getting along in Compton. But with Fruittown and Compton Varrio Loco getting along with each other, Compton Varrio Loco is also partook in the beef against T-Flats. They claim to be one of the driving forces that pushed T-Flats past Rosecrans closer to Compton Boulevard. So, this is where it comes to the point where certain things is kind of misunderstood, where just because a hood is Hispanic or just because a hood is black, you already think these hoods is beefing off of race. And it may go there, but another thing we have to point out, Hispanic gangs and black gangs can equally be racist. What we see a lot of is like the Compton Varrios getting slapped for being NK or Black K. But we gotta keep it real. The black gangs have been on the same business. And just to rewind a little bit, at a time prior to the Rodney King riots, prior to that whole situation in 92, blacks in Compton were the majority minority. Everybody knows that. It's more black hoods out here than it is Compton Varrios. But before 92, it was said that some of the black hoods would try to put it down on some of these newer Varrios, especially Compton Varrio 155, who we're gonna touch on as well. Some of these black hoods really was trying to give it to these dudes because they were stronger and had more numbers at that time. But in 92, around this peace treaty era, it was said that the Mexican Mafia had kind of made an ill-advised decision where they made a call for the Compton Varrios to kind of take over the street, so to speak, and push the black hoods out. And this is what really sparked it up, where both sides is really going at each other. But I say that to say this, both sides seem to have dirt on their hands when it comes to this racial divide that's seen to the public in Compton. But the key thing that we see is Hispanic gangs really be beefing with each other, and black gangs, especially the Compton Crips, really be beefing with each other. So it's kind of like pick your poison in Compton, man. What narrative is we gonna choose to push today? You know what I'm saying? But to keep speaking on it, we got Compton Largo 36 right next to these dudes, like we said. Now, Largo 36 is gonna beef with CV Lokos and T-Flats as well in this area. Other hoods they gonna beef with is CV3, CV2, Compton Varrio 124, and pretty much all other Crip hoods as well. And just because of proximity, and it's said for their cordial behavior with Compton Varrio Lokos, SpookTown Pirus is gonna be one of the only Piru hoods that these dudes pretty much gonna be beefing with. Now we say that because when we did the Compton video, we went to every single hood we talking about out here. What we see from Largo 36 is mostly beefing with Compton Varrios and the Crips. We didn't see them whacking out PK, saying PK or BK. What they was really pushing at that time was CK. And it's been said that Largo 36 and Mona Park was one of the first Compton Varrio and Crip beefs in Compton, starting back in the early 80s, something like that. Now, do I think Compton Largo 36 can come together with some of the Piru and Crip hoods? Potentially. We seen a flyer back in July of a peace meeting, and this is something that's very important, man, where a lot of people said that walk was just for the Pirus or it's just for the blacks. We seen this flyer in July that clearly invited all hoods in Compton, the Varrios, the Crips, and the Pirus to a meet. Nobody was excluded because people want to push past this racist narrative. So Compton Largo 36, I could see it, but if I'm gonna be 100% honest, there's a couple hoods out here that I don't see budging. One of them hoods for sure could be T-Flats. Another hood is Compton Largo 36, and another one is CV 155. Them is hoods that I don't really see budging. Even though some of them dudes may not beef with Crips, or some of them may not beef with Pirus exclusively, their reputation is just so heavy where it's kind of like no coming back from that. You know what I'm saying? But like I spoke on before, I could see CV Lokos keeping the peace with the black gangs in SpookTown Piru, and potentially all other Pirus in Compton. But with that being said, we got to talk about a hood right across Alameda from this section, this Santana Block CV3 area.
too real. I'm from the gang, even mama slide, I'm too real. Hit county right by my mama's side, I'm too real. With pops talking about a homicide, I'm too real. He was in my hood looking traumatized, I'm too real. From the gang, even mama slide, I'm too real. Hit county right by my mama's side, I'm too real. With pops talking about a homicide, I'm too real. He was in my hood looking traumatized. Bang the turf, that don't surprise us. But I bang it.
Now here's just more proof showing that this racial divide is really not that big out here. CV3 is gonna function heavily with Santana, Blocc, and Pomino Gangsta Crip in Compton. So much so where they pretty much allied with these dudes. This is a black and a Mexican hood controlling this area right here. The same area that this mural got whacked out in by TF. This is a Hispanic and a black alliance right here on the east side of Compton. And like we talked about before, these dudes is cool with the Crips. They not beefing with Crips. They beefing with Pirus out here. Pirus like the mob, who's gonna be right across Long Beach Boulevard from these dudes. Dudes like Lueders, Elm Street. But one of their main enemies is gonna be another Compton Varrio hood, Barrio Los Padrinos, which is just to the north of these dudes. That's where they gonna have most of their attention at. And again, like we said, this Kendrick Lamar mural was in this hood. It was right off Rosecrans and McDivitt. We didn't see them writing CV3K or SBCK on that wall. They got problems with the Pirus and they kept it there. If they was really beefing with all blacks, it would have been SBCK and CV3K just for fucking with a black hood. So, you know, you gotta pay close attention, especially in Compton, man. There's so much going on out here. Now, other beef with CV3 is also gonna be CV124, and I don't know exactly where their relationship lies with Largo 36. Just to keep it real, they could still be beefing with these dudes. But right now, CV3 and Barrio Los Padrinos is at an all-time high. CV3 fucking with the Crips. Barrio Los Padrinos is really beefing with Crips. As we can see this dude right here, he spoke on it.
You feel me? This was the first time I got here.
Right here?
Yeah. Yeah. Lantana. Nigga, I'm for BLP. This is my hood.
They really just beefing with Crips. When we see BLP, we don't see them whacking out the P. We see them beefing with CV3, beefing with Santana Blocc. And the funny thing is, we've also seen them hitting up in Compton Varrio 7-0 hood, getting along with them. And I would say that is one of few good relationships between two Compton Varrio hoods. Because I see more than anything, the Compton Varrios really be beefing with each other. And that goes across the whole city. Y'all see how many hoods we done? Over 200 hoods. And I'ma keep it real. We never see a lot of Hispanic gang alliances. And it's crazy to think that when they get to prison, they gotta fall up under the program in a tight-knit ass way. But on the streets, man, these dudes stay beefing with each other. That's just a fun fact for y'all, man. But CV70 and Barrio Los Padrinos seem to be on good terms. But that's gonna bring us right up under this CV3 hood, still kind of occupying this Santana Blocc area. We gonna have CV70 right here.
Somebody in trouble, they calling him, you know, and he's going to help or whatever, you know. But, and them 7-0s is right there, you know. If something went wrong, them 7-0s was there. They was there, you know. You pick up the phone, Raymond, Richie, all of them, they was there. Even when my brother, you know, went to jail, they still would always say, and I still deal with them now. I just seen one, and he like, what's up, auntie? Because they call me auntie. So, yeah, the 7-0s, they was like family.
Now, CV70 is a hood that's known to be entrenched in a grip of beef. They've known to beef with Crips and Pirus, most notably the ATF on the west side and Lueders Park on the east side, along with other hoods like Southside, the Lynwood neighborhood Crips, T-Flats, CV3, Compton Varrio 117, 124, Elm Street, Hollywood, and pretty much the whole LAC, man, including SpookTown. These dudes be in a lot of beef, but we have seen them be cool with a Piru hood in the mob.
What's up, blood? I'm from Eastside Piru. I'm from Eastside Piru. I'm good.
Look. Hey, you heard me?
On the track.
Wait, hold on. This guy.
You ever stole a Toyota trying to trope? You ever couldn't get the blood spots out your shoes? You ever had a chop and couldn't wait to use? You ever seen them put one of your skits up on the news, and if it jam up, do you know what to do? It's all fun and games until they getting jiggy too, and if they buzz back, do you know what to do? It's all fun and games until they getting jiggy too.
That may just be because they share common enemies in Lueders Park and the LAC. But this is further showing us that we still can see some unity in present day in Compton. And the funny thing is, these dudes used to be cool with Lueders Park. Now, just like in LA, with these dudes being cool with Lueders Park, we can see things get fixed. Why can't we? We seen Treetop and Fruittown fix their shit in Compton. Why can't a Compton Varrio and a Piru hood or a Crip hood fix their beef in Compton? Now, the main thing is Black hoods and Hispanic hoods really don't understand each other, man. Because the politics are so different, upbringing is so different, even though we all grow up together in LA. Black and brown, we all come up the same way together out here. But it's still sometimes a level of unknown, especially between hoods. And I think that's the main barrier that's really playing a role in Compton. Just to take a scale back for a second, let's look at Watts.
I'm by my chili, these blue faces, I need that. No head ups in the set, nigga, you getting packed. Fly nigga, your bitch on me, she need that. You niggas weird, turned down, you niggas whack. My bars hit like a Zanny on grade, my shit slap. Slid in and slid out, man, her shit whack. Pistol on me, run a fade if you need that. On the phone talking about drugs, man, my shit tap. Fly nigga, your bitch.
Watts is notorious for having good Black and brown relations. We seen Grape Street, the Baby Lokos, get along with Watts Varrio great. Pretty much the same hood. We done seen 10 Line and DS Line, pretty much the same hood. We done seen both Nut Hood, Eastside Nut Hood Watts and Southside Nut Hood Watts 13 get along. Elm Street Watts and 9 Deuce Bishops get along. And I think Hassy in the Village and the Hassy in the Village boys may still be getting along. But with all that being said, Watts and Compton are very tight-knit, pushing the hub and the dub. This kind of unity really doesn't seem that far-fetched in Compton, regardless of what's transpired in the past. And I say that because look at what LA is doing. I know it's different politics, whole different situation, but really when it comes down to it, we talking bodies dropping. That's one thing all these hoods have in common. The beef has escalated to the point of no return, and it still can be fixed on top of that. You know what I'm saying? But to get back over to Compton, look at what we talking. Fruittown, CV Lokos, Treetop could potentially be cool together. CV3, Santana Blocc. Los Padrinos, CV70. The Mob, CV70. What will really set something like this off is the Black hoods coming together. The Compton Crips and the Pirus. With CV3 getting along with Santana Blocc and the Lokos getting along with Fruittown. What happens if Santana Blocc start getting along with Fruittown and Treetop? CV3 may get along with the Lokos. What happens if the Mob and Lueders put away they beef? That affect 4 different hoods. Cedar Blocc, Cross Atlantic, Lueders Park, and the Mob.
We bounce out, ain't no hanging out the window, we sliding. Shouldn't be no surprise, nigga. I throw my shit up off of the liquor. Niggas get tipped up. What the fuck you staring at, nigga? Up the brands acting up. So I hit you with this bottle after I finish this last cut. Sagging through your section off a jig of my chest up. Sagging through your section off a jig of my chest up. Red flag Dickie suit, red flag sneakers. Only red flag shit blast out my speakers. Red diamonds in my ice piece like Jesus. Red nose pit with them all red leashes.
And now this is something that we have to talk about, man. When we spoke about Elm Street, in our Compton video, we spoke about Elm Street beefing with Lueders Park. Now, I said that because, like I said, I was in Elm Street hood. Dudes from Elm was dissing. They was striking it up. They was doing, you know, it was there. We reached out to Avenue Champ. Shout out Avenue Champ from Cross Atlantic. He clarified it's no beef between Elm Street. Skip Townsend also reached out to us on this situation. You know, the minor disagreements, but it's no beef between Elm Street and Lueders. So as long as Mob is coming to the table with Lueders, I know the LAC is cool with Lynwood as well. I don't know where Hollywood lies, but we pretty much got 100% unity between the Pirus on the west and the east side of Compton with this last situation with the Mob and Lueders. Now, how does that affect Lueders Park and CV70? Is the Mob being cool with Lueders the doorway to restore relationships with CV70? Potentially, but I think them dudes can do it on their own because they was cool once before. Now, like we was talking about with CV70, being entrenched with a lot of beef, outside of beefing with Lueders Park and some hoods on the east side of Compton, CV70 was really known to beef it on the west side of Compton too, in their other section with ATF, which is our first Crip alliance that we're gonna talk about. Acacia, Blocc, SpookTown, and Farm Dog Compton Crip.
So y'all get along with all Crips, or y'all beef with any Crips? Or no?
Crips, nasties right there. This hood right here. We don't consider them as Crips though.
They never been Crips.
Cause they might link back to something you don't know about.
Acacia Blocc, nigga. What it do?
Eastside Compton, SpookTown Crips.
Yeah.
That's me.
Nigga.
Neckbone Murder Squad.
Now, can the situation between ATF and CV70 be fixed? That's something I would say that's a little different. I done seen some people talking about things really took a turn with CV70 and SpookTown around the time the dope game was really popping, where SpookTown on this side of Compton really had that shit, and dudes from CV70 kind of moved on their territory. And you know, ever since then, things have went kind of bad between these hoods. So I can't say if they was ever cool like CV70 and Lueders was. But given the history of these hoods beefing, this would be something I say is on a standstill right now. But ATF, this alliance formed because of all three of these hoods beefing with CV70 to the east and Nutty Blocc to the west.
My project lit, my project's real. Come to my projects, you might get killed. My project's hot, project's cold. Project nigga need project hoes. Project ruling by project codes. Feds trying to kick down them project doors. Project bricks doing project shit. Running up bands with them projects rich, nigga.
You caught a body in my hood, you consider a goat. You call a phase in the county, they gon' call you a lope.
Now, Nutty Blocc Compton Crip is gonna be an extremely active and old school hood in Compton. One of the first sets to really form as a Compton Crip hood in this city. The key thing is that people gotta realize, we keep saying it, the Compton Crips was not beefing with each other. All these dudes was in place, repping the same shit. Like most of this shit started on the east side, west side of LA with the Pirus. Nobody was beefing it. And the Nutty Blocks have always held a reputable name in Compton. But in the 80s, everything broke loose and caused a divide between these Compton Crips. So this is where we see the ATF and Nutty Blocc been beefing for over 30 years. But this is something that can be rectified. Reason being is because of the history. A lot of the OGs in Compton all know each other. They all function together at one point in time. And they never wanted it to turn out like this. But for the Crippin' in Compton, these dudes done watch the Pirus form, watch them break apart, and then form again. It's like, how many times the CC Riders gonna watch from the sidelines and not fix their business as well? You know what I'm saying? But with Nutty Blocc, they have some alliances to some hoods as well. They tighten it with Swamp Hood, Park Village, and on the east side, Atlantic Drive and South Side Compton Crip. So like I said, within this divide between the Crips, there are these small pockets of alliances. And this honestly is what makes Compton an extremely confusing and dangerous place. Because you never know who's really getting into it with each other. You know what I'm saying? Piru, Crip, or Sudanio. You know what I'm saying? But with Nutty Blocc's alliance to Swamp Hood, this has led them into a beef with Lantana Blocc Compton Crip, Tragniew, and T-Zone Compton Crip, as well as CV155. Now, CV155 is gonna be right across the laundry. It's said that these dudes is kind of giving 151 original Blocc Piru kind of a run for their money in their section because they expanded. But CV155 is one of them Compton Varrios that we saying is beefing with everything. They beefing with the Pirus and the Crips and other Compton Varrios, and they a hood that's been known to also really be pushing the NK. But I think that's really sticking. And like I said previously, this is a hood that's probably not moving off their position anytime soon. It was said before everything turned that Swamp Hood was the hood kind of picking on these dudes when they was just forming. You know what I'm saying? When some of the Hispanic minorities was coming to Compton in the early days of 155, Swamp Hood was kind of, you know, putting it down on these dudes. So they're saying that's how these dudes got a chip on their shoulder to really be putting it down the way they do now. But I don't see there being a way for anybody to bring CV155 to the table. They beefing with Westside Piru, Campanella Park, NHP, Park Village, T-Flats, CV70, BKM, everything around them they beefing with. It's just up with these dudes, so we gonna leave them right there. But to keep talking about this Crip situation between Swamp Hood and Nutty Blocc, Tragniew, T-Zone, and Lantana Blocc, I think this is a situation that can be cleaned up on the west side of Compton as well. Now, the key thing people talk about is the murder. You know, it's been murders everywhere throughout the city. LA, Inglewood, East LA, Compton, Watts. That's a common denominator in all the beef. Yet and still, we still see hoods come together even after these homicides. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to keep leaning on the Compton Crips and how they originated. Now, I know this beef with Lantana and Tragniew, Nutty Blocc, Swamp Hood, another decades-long beef. But I think it can get fixed. And I think it would really have to start with Nutty Blocc really being the OG set over here. And it's the hood that's having the most members between Tragniew, T-Zone, and Lantana Blocc. I think if them dudes came to the table with it, the Compton Crips to the west of them would also be willing to come sit down. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know the main thing that people looking for is, can the Compton Crips and the Pirus come together? I think that answer lies into whatever Park Village is on.
I keep that blick with me, come and take a trip with me, slide, we ain't rip sticking, bounce about that whip and split 'em. I ain't hat tipping, me and you a big difference. Bitch, my check bigger, pockets for my flex bigger. Out the village with them apes screaming, yeah. Top rank, shooter gang, top shot. And they rolling with a chopper, it go blah, da, da, da. Blah, and I got walkie in my paws, bibly on me and you ain't know it.
It's said that Park Village is one of the few Compton Crip hoods out here that's not beefing with Campanella Park and Westside Piru. Now, I think whatever the formula that was used there between Park Village and these Pirus can be used elsewhere throughout the city. I don't know if it's because of the rapping. You know, that's the thing, is these Compton rappers do be tight-knit. And we all know Park Village is the same hood that Roddy Ricch is from. We done seen him on the record with YG from Treetop. So that right there is showing the right direction between Pirus and Crips in Compton. But whatever it is, if one hood can do it, multiple hoods can do it. And we know Westside Piru and Campanella Park have a lot of pull in Compton. But the thing is, I know these dudes are still beefing with some hoods that's right next to them. Carver Park, Mona Park, Front Hood Compton. Them three Compton Crip hoods is gonna be cool with each other. Now, Front Hood and Carver is gonna be a new development. They used to be. But this situation up here is gonna take us to potentially another Hispanic and Black situation that's going on in the city with Mona Park, Carver Park, and Compton Varrio 124 getting along.
Came through crippin', crip, crip. Came through crippin', crip, crip. Came through crippin', blue rag around my neck, yeah, I'm crippin', crip. Welcome to the east side, where my niggas all Crips and they be fly. Doing donuts in a circle like a beehive. Pull up, jump out, two up top.
Now, I know Mona Park and 124, they occupy the same area, so they've been known to get along. But 124 is also known to beef with other Crips, for sure with Santana Blocc because of their beef with CV3. But I think Carver is solid with 124 because Carver and 124 share beef with Compton Varrio 117. But this is just another piece of the puzzle that we putting together to show Black and Brown can and will get along in Compton. And this Mona Park, Carver Park Alliance is also gonna have 6 hood in here as well. But right in between all these Crip hoods, we got Pocket Hood and we got Anzac Gray. Now, both of these hoods is gonna get along with Santana Blocc, which means they also gonna be cool with CV3, which is why they not a part of this alliance between Carver Park, Front Hood, Mona Park, who they beef with, but who also get along with CV124. So, you know, we shedding light on these small alliances that's in Compton. And they may not, when I say alliance, I'm not saying dudes is trooping together, hitting blocks together, kicking it together every day. I'm saying from how these hoods are in proximity in Compton, to be cool with another hood that share your hood is damn near an alliance. But we speaking on just having cordial activity, no gunfire between some hoods. And again, some of these dudes may be kicking it. These dudes have respect for each other. So that's where the word alliance is coming from. But Pocket Hood Anzac is gonna be allied with Santana Blocc on the east side. So that's why they wouldn't be budging in this situation. But with their alliance to Santana Blocc, this opens the door to other hoods out here as well. Now, the most active Crip hoods on the east side is gonna be Santana Blocc and South Side.
The streets made a man out of me. Little nigga, what they do to you? I still step, I got something to prove. I came a long way from county blues. By my lonely, I'm a boss, nigga, who is you? Is you the truth or you gon' tell a lie? Where I'm from, you tell them people the truth, then that's a homicide. Load it up and let's ride. Some people tell me make some party music, but I'm speaking from my heart and my soul, cause I'm the street influence. I'm the face they recognize it when
And we know BZ Santana from Santana Blocc is a big face over there in their section. This is also a dude that we seen collabing with some Blood and some Hoovers. We seen him with Avenue Champ from the Eastside Piru hood. So we see Eastside Compton Crips and Eastside Pirus being able to function together. Now he did get into that situation with Cuz and Munchie B, but the true focus again is opposite hoods in Compton being able to come together. That's another form of some Crips and some Pirus being able to be cool. Santana Blocc, like we keep saying, is gonna be cool with CV3, Anzac Great, Pocket Hood, Pomino Gangsters, and Neighborhood Compton Crip. Neighborhood Compton Crip is gonna be right next to this Southside hood, and this is a Neighborhood Crip set. These dudes rock with the LA neighborhoods, but it's another Compton Varrio hood right here, CV Tokers.
Cause if I got it, then my niggas got it too. Ain't nothing gon' change, just know I got you. If it's up, then it's up, nigga, follow through. If it's up, then it's up, nigga, follow through. Without no questions, that's why I ride with this weapon. I gotta stay protected, gotta put my trust in a nigga who ain't ready. Pop on my left hand, but I ain't no lefty.
These dudes also be rocking with some Crips. We done seen these dudes kicking it with dudes from Long Beach, other black dudes from different parts of the city. But I can't say between Neighborhood Compton and Southside Compton exactly who they lean towards. They really occupy Southside Compton's hood, but I don't know which one of these hoods they really tight knit with. But it's a lot to see these dudes rocking with Crips anyways. Another hood that's seemingly not on this black and brown beat, but a hood that people say that is. That Neighborhood Compton is beefing with, Santana Blocc is beefing with, BKM is beefing with, Compton Varrio Willow Street. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Willow Street used to be cool with Santana Blocc. They right here in the middle of Santana Blocc hood, not far from Wilson Park, across Compton Boulevard. But when you in their section, they really beefing it with BKM, best known Mexicans. But BKM, I don't know exactly if they have a hood, man. I'm gonna keep it real. They be traveling. I see them on the west side and the east side, beefing with other Compton Varrios. I ain't seen BKM whacking out no C's or P's in Compton. So the major question is, how do the Compton Varrios come together? We'll get to that. But the hood right next to these dudes between Willow Street, Elm Street, and Santana Blocc is gonna be a hood that's said to have kicked off the beef between Crips and Compton. We got Southside Compton Crip.
Really willing to slide for your gang, ride for your hood, die for your name. Keep your chin up and do your time for the game.
I got a nightmare with me when we ride on our enemies. We double back and switch course. Seeing sucker niggas die tend to make my dick hard. Eyes red.
And that initial Compton Crip beef allegedly started between these dudes and Palmer Block Compton Crip. Y'all know Southside, they notorious for Keefy D, Orlando Anderson, but these dudes too also have an alliance. They cool with Ducky Hood, cool with Ward Lane, like we said, Park Village and Nutty Block, and Atlantic Drive. So you see, it's really like 3 alliances between the Crips in Compton, from the west side to the east side. And I would say the only other thing that's seemingly more divided than that are the Compton Varrios, since we had the Pirus on the same page. But Southside is a hood that's beefing with everything, Crips, Pirus, and Compton Varrios. Their main beef is gonna be with Santana Blocc, which also means they beefing with Neighborhood Compton Crip next to them. They beefing with the Pirus next to them, Lueders, Elma, Hollywood. And they also known to, of course, beef with T Flats. Now, I don't know what their relationship is between Compton Varrio MFL, Mexicans for Life, or Modern for Life, however you want to spin it. Rest in peace, my boy Byron, that was from MFL. I don't know what relationship Southside has with them, but I think a role that they could play to stop the beef between the Compton Crips would be bringing together Kelly Park with Ducky Hood, Atlantic Drive, and Neighborhood Compton, which would also insinuate another Sudanio Hood being cool with other black gangs. We got Compton Varrio Tiny Gangsters, who's allied with Kelly Park. They occupy the same hood, beefing with CV-132. But if Southside Ducky Hood and Atlantic Drive could come together with Kelly Park, that would mean CVTG is also with the peace between these other Compton Crip hoods on the east side. Now, there's a lot of other Compton Varrios over here. CV2, Compton Varrio Chicano Gang, USV. All these hoods is active, and they beefing with other Compton Varrios, Crips, and Pirus. But I feel like there's only one way these Compton Varrios will really stop beefing with each other, which could have some very crazy implications, but we all know the answer. That call will have to come from up top to get these dudes to stop being at each other's necks. You know what I'm saying? Because it's very hard to point out alliances between the Compton Varrios, man. But nonetheless, we've seen black and brown hoods on the west side and the east side of Compton get together. Can the Crips and the Pirus form more of a tight-knit alliance? And can the Compton Varrios stop beefing with each other? I think that's more realistic than to keep playing the same race card. Because like I said, it seems to be way more just simple gangbang politics than it is race. Not saying there is no racism in Compton. That's everywhere. But I think that's a narrative that's dying with some of these hoods that's in Compton as well. Some of these hoods that's not growing. It's Hispanic members in these gangs, in these black gangs, and it's black members in these Hispanic gangs. It's always been like that. But it's also some other areas that's affected by Compton politics as well. Other hoods on the east side. One of them areas is gonna be Carson. Like we said, it's a lot of west side Crip hoods that beef with East Coast. 190 East Coast and Carson. And there's gonna be multiple Piru hoods in Carson. West side Piru has a set out here. Cabbage Patch Piru, who was at the Peace Walk, is out here. Scottsdale, Scotts Park Piru is out here. Grace Avenue is also here. And the relationship between these Carson Piru hoods and Hispanic gangs like Carson Trece or the Weemas are also problematic on this side of town. And again, the same common narrative where with the Weemas, they got three different sides of the same hood. These dudes is all beefing.
Look, west side gang sliding with this blue rag. I'm surfing waves that they can't bitch for a bag. Man down, yo, come get your man. We playing ball, batter up, we'll hold that. West side gang sliding with this blue rag. I'm surfing waves that they can't bitch for a bag.
And the Pirus is all functioning together in Carson. So this is the same type of stuff that we see in Compton going on just south of that city. And also similar things that go on in Long Beach. North side, east side, and west side. Predominantly on the east side where you had the Longos, and even the west side where you got the Longos. Longos also on the north side. Go watch our Long Beach video if y'all want more information about how all them sides get cracking. But east side and west side is gonna have some real racial tension as well between black and brown, with the Longos beefing with the 20 Crips and the Insanes, as well as some other hoods like the Asian Crips. And of course, Barrio Pobre and West Coast 80s. And similar to Compton, you got Crip on Crip beef out here too, where 20s and West Coast is beefing with the Insanes. But I would say another area that's affected or similar to these Compton politics would be Lynwood, where you have Lynwood neighborhood Crips, Pope Street, and 211 Criminal Gang beefing with the Eastside Pirus in Compton, as well as Lynwood neighborhood Crips beefing with some of the Compton Varrios like CV70. So this is a common narrative that's going on the east side. But right now with Compton, there are ways where situations can be fixed. But as you can see, we may not be able to glue 100% of the hoods together in Compton, especially when you throw the Compton Varrios in the mix because they have their own beef. But we can say more than 50% of Compton could potentially stop beefing, and that's still major. Again, it's over 50 hoods out here, and including hoods in Willowbrook, like Athens Park, the Millers, 1 Trey 5 Pirus, who are all beefing with Barrio 13 and clicked up with Campanella and Westside Piru. There's more black and brown alliances that can be built and current alliances that can grow for real. But nonetheless, man, like I said, Compton is a crazy part of the city. It's all kind of stuff going on out here, man. Y'all keep staying tuned for what's going on in LA and on the outskirts of LA, man. Stay rocking with the channel. Get up with us on Instagram. Make sure y'all hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Rap News, Street Politics, man, the best hood channel on YouTube.